Go for ball too. I got kids in my yard who do ball too.
Well, hello, somebody. It's your host, Marlon Big Favorite. I'm here with my man, Dat Boy Fred.
In the building.
He's in the building for sure. ESPN New Orleans Talk Network, and it's Inside the Trenches podcast. We back at it again. We're in the saddle. It's Thursday evening.
It is.
We're enjoying life right now. Pels balling, the brackets looking good. Everything is A-OK. So today what we're going to touch base on, we want to open the show up and thank our sponsor, Small Sliders, for all that they do for the show. 1635 Barretary Boulevard in Montero.
Talk to me now.
I like it. You got to love it. So we're going to get into more on the Saints. They had a couple of teams had some pro days. We're going to look into that. Grambling got a big win. This is huge. We were talking about on yesterday's show, Howard was just talking about being appreciative of being in the tournament, and Grambling goes out and do what they do.
Right.
And we'll get into free agency and some more things. But Fred, I want to jump right into it.
Yeah.
The Saints was at Texas's pro day.
Yeah.
And this means a lot for us because Bo Davis is at LSU now. We know these are his D linemen.
Right.
And those guys are showing off and showing out. So Jeff Duncan released a tweet, and the tweet basically stated Saints D-line coach Todd Grantham getting up close and personal with the defensive tackles, the two big dogs up front, Byron Murphy and Tavondre
Sweat.
Big 360 pounds, big boy. Man, Fred, them boys moving their feet, huh? Would you bust that move right there?
I can't bust that move, but for guys like that who can bust that move, listen. The versatility of D lineman today, right? Think about it, Marlon. When you was coming out, right? D lineman had to be like big, bulky, but the agility wasn't really a requirement, right?
Right.
It was just more the physicality. How are they going to play up front? When you're looking at D lineman today, the agility of these guys and having been able to move, man, Bo Davis did a heck of a job with these two young men. And these guys are going to be top picks in this upcoming draft because you got to think about D lineman. It's going to be it's paramount in the league, right?
Uh-huh.
You need top D linemen. That's just how the league works. And so Texas got a pair of these two guys. You see the Saints D-line coach working them out. And the Saints have been known for taking D-line.
Especially with first-round picks. Sheldon Rankins, we can go down that road. Just recently, Brian Bruzy, Dennis Allen believes in having a stout front, and that is good. But when you look at these two young men, we talk about them coming into Bo Davis, playing in the Bo Davis system.
Yeah.
We've seen this with Terrence Cody with Alabama when Bo was there.
Yep.
I do think the Saints should take a look at these two young men with that first-round pick. And I probably wouldn't have said this 2 weeks ago, Fred. I wouldn't have said it, but the way this team is shaping up, Chase Young is going to be ready for
training camp.
No, not training camp. From what I heard, they say he might sit out of training camp, or did they say he?
I heard a medical report that he'll be available for around training camp. The Saints knew that he had a surgery on his neck.
Correct.
And he's supposed to be ready for training camp. Now, they may send him out, depending on how the injury, and how he's, progressing. But he's going to get some reps at some point during that time.
And for him, he's technically considered a veteran.
Yes.
So when you look at a guy like Chase Young, I like the 2 seasons he had, the 2 healthy seasons he had. He really only had one non-healthy season. He played the rest of the year for San Francisco this year.
Right.
And you look at him on the edge along with Cam Jordan and however they do that, I'm pretty sure it's going to be some defensive end packages with where you may see Carl Granderson and Cam, and you may see Chase Young and Cam, and you may see Carl Granderson and Chase Young. So
Correct.
They can be unique in how they switch those packages up. But now it brings this attention to the interior line. And I understand why Coach Todd will want to take a closer look at these guys because they come from good coaching.
Yep.
They were at a winning program.
Yep.
Texas was a winning program.
Yep.
And they're stout in the middle. And this is an area where the Saints could look for improvement.
But not just that. Let's just think about what's next to Brian Breezy.
See?
There's a void there now, right?
Yeah.
He comes in, we know he's their starting D tackle, but what is next to him? And so
But hold on, Fred. Now you did utter earlier that you wouldn't go with these two young men. Would you go with someone like them? Would you go get another interior lineman in this with that first round pick?
Whew, I think they have a bigger void.
What's the bigger void? Because I mean, David Onyemata's out.
Right.
Who else? Somebody else just signed with Denver.
Uh,
And my mind slips me.
I don't know if it's Malcolm Roach or not.
I think it was Malcolm Roach. So that
I would say
because you still have Nathan Shepard and you still have Saunders.
Saunders. I think the bigger voice still in the team is still left tackle.
Okay.
I think you started 3 of them last year. Obviously, started off with Trevor Penning. Then you had James Hurst, and then at the end of the season, you still finish off with Andrews Pete. So to me, D-line is left tackle is still paramount to the Saints draft situation. So even though I'm looking at D linemen, because you can't really, you got to have at least a good 10 D line.
Right.
So you always have a rotation, but the bigger void right now for the Saints until they get it addressed is still left tackle. So at first round right now, unless something changes, left tackle is still important.
Now they just brought in Vikings left tackle or right tackle. Hugo, I don't want to say his name right. I don't have it in front of me, but I'm gonna say Ali.
Yeah, they brought in Ali. I can't think of his last name.
It's
from the Vikings.
From the Vikings. He can't fill that void, or he's just someone to come in and compete.
You need 90 guys for camp.
All right. Okay, because the reason I said that, because here's somebody who, if I'm not mistaken, he started for the Vikings.
He did.
We did bring in James Hurst a few years ago, who was a starter as well, and these guys compete. Is it big of a? Because go ahead. What you say?
He's not I don't think he's the permanent solution for left tackle. I think the permanent solution at left tackle is going to be at the selection at 14 and whoever falls to them. I think he's a guy you bring in. He's going to come in and he's going to compete for a job, and if he wins the job, then that's fine. However, the void still exists when you look at the amount of reps that the 3 left tackles took last year. And Derek Carr is going to be your quarterback for the next 2 seasons at least. So protecting him is so vital. So his blind side is important. So I just think that left tackle, until someone is brought in like a big name veteran, I think left tackle is still the most important position.
We were close. It is Ali Udo.
Yeah.
Ali Udo. It says Sean Nice. I'm gonna try this. Ali, let me know how I do if you listen to this. Ali say Mika. Ali Samika, something like that. I think that might be it. We're gonna see, but Ali for short.
Yes.
Right now, currently on the Saints' depth chart, they have him behind Trevor Penning. Right now, they have James Hurst as a starter.
Yes.
Currently, and then behind him you have Mark Evans. So, are you thinking left guard, left tackle? Because I would say that you bring in. Because I like Trevor Penning playing inside at the guard and maybe using you do.
I would like Trevor Penning at left guard.
Okay.
And then you got to figure.
With the first round pick, like a day 1 starter.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to come in because remember they took Trevor Penning and wanted in the first round for to be a day 1 starter.
Correct. And he hasn't been, and obviously last year was not his year. So he's going to get another crack at it. But Andrews Pete is now on the roster. He was your previous left guard.
There you go.
So now making sure that your offensive line is intact. So the question is, you don't forecast yourself drafting a left guard in the first round.
You move somebody. You wait to see if there's a decent guard in the second round, which makes 3 positions very interesting right now: quarterback, wide receiver, and defensive tackle. Now, because again, we're going to look at this depth chart before we take a quick break. And then we may revisit this. We talk Saints every day here. It's just what we do. But you look at the defensive line, I do like the depth on the interior. When you look at the 4 guys. I mean, Jack so you could look second round. For a defensive tackle, but I think it's interesting, and maybe they hope that one of these guys drop.
I think if Saints took a defensive tackle with the first round pick, I think fans will lose it.
They would be excited or they would be mad?
Mad.
I figured you was going to say that. Mad. I know who not mad right now, and that's Grambling State University. The Boot is representing this week. I tell you, that's the last 2 weeks. Will Wade getting in the tournament, so this is going to be big. When we come back, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to come back, and me and Fred are going to talk a little NCAA basketball. It's Inside the Trenches, baby, right here on New Orleans Talk Network, ESPN New Orleans. Thank you, Small Sliders. Hello, somebody. It's the host of Inside the Trenches podcast, Marlon Favorite. Did you know Small Sliders had an app? You can go to your Google Play Store or your Apple Store right now, download the Small Sliders app in Montero, and order your food right now. You want to get a number 2? Well, slide through. 1635 Barataria Boulevard in Montero. Small Sliders, simple on purpose. Are you a student athlete looking to take your career to the next level? Look no further than Conquer Sports Pros. That's right, Conquer Sports Pros. Our team of experts will get you guys on the right path to your student athlete journey in life. That's right, we have every position in football you need, and we also help out with other sports. At Conquer Sports Pros, you have everything from a list of consultation, training, and also media training. Yeah, that's right. When you take your career to the next level, play college and hopefully pro, you'll get lots of interviews. Call Conquer Sports Pros today. You can reach them at 504-319-6672 or visit marlonfavorite.com for more information. Hello, somebody. Hello, somebody. It's your boy Marlon Favorite. And when I'm hungry, I like to make my way to Small Sliders. 1635 Barataria Boulevard, Montero, Louisiana. Simple on purpose. When I tell you their burgers are delicious, have some great sauce on them, I'm telling you, when you're just hungry and just need to grab a quick bite, this is the perfect place for you. Small Sliders. The customer service is nice. It's somewhere you can bring the family, hang out and chill, enjoy the atmosphere. Now I'm a big boy, so when I like to take my Small Sliders, I like to get the biggest smalls. Double patties, bacon, cheese, you name it. Just a delicious burger. And I like to top it off with my favorite, the cookies and cream milkshake. There are 3 delicious flavors: milkshake, chocolate, vanilla, and cookies and cream. Small Sliders. Simple on purpose. Y'all come on and slide through, baby. And let them know that you heard about them on Inside the Trenches with your boy Marlon Favorite. Watch out there now. Well, hello, it's Marlon Favorite with Inside the Trenches podcast. Are you looking for a brand new car? Or you're tired of what you're driving around in? Or you just need wheels? Well, if that's the case, you need to visit Montero Motors, 1512 North Causeway, Metairie, Louisiana. At Montero Motors, our buddy Alberto will get you in a vehicle that fits you that day with no problem. They have vehicles that are pre-owned. You can do a trade-in that day and ride off in something that day. Visit MonteroMotors.com for more information and let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches podcast. Hello.
Step Construction is here for you with a brand new offer. We now provide affordable storage sheds. Stop wasting your money on overpriced storage units and portable containers. Step Construction can provide you with a custom shed that will fit your budget and storage needs. So contact Step Construction today at 504-340-5809 for your own personal quote. Let us help you take the next step at Step Construction.
To get in this green, get you some product, invest in the people, invest in your streams.
Welcome back. It's Inside the Trenches podcast. I'm your host, Marlon Favorite. I'm here with that boy Fred from FanView. Got my F's mixed up. FanView, Fred.
FanView podcast, baby.
Yeah, check out and Fred, y'all shoot an episode this evening coming up here next.
We're gonna be shooting an episode, yes. We got many more episodes coming. They come out each and every Wednesday at 3:30. Get subscribed, get locked in. FanView podcast on YouTube.
The state's on fire right now.
Blazing,
Louisiana, baby. Hot.
We blazing.
Whew. Get some Kool-Aid. Get some water.
Blazing.
We don't need no sugar in that. Let's use some hot, ice cold water because we blazing. Grambling State University, the Tigers, who this season were 21-14, got in the NCAA tournaments, and they got there in a very huge way, beating. They were down 20.
Down 20 against Montana State.
Montana State Bobcats, but they were victorious 88-81. Fred, your initial reactions, bro?
Well, first and foremost, they was down 20 in the game. And to take it to overtime in college basketball, you got to understand, you got 2 halves, 2 20-minute halves.
Right.
And for them to take the game to overtime, to push it, I mean, you got to get credit with Grambling. And listen, it's Louisiana basketball. A lot of kids, went up to school there from down here. And Jamil Cover, ends up with 19 points. He's 7 of 9 from the field, 5 of 6 from the free throw line.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, a big-time win for Louisiana sports. And Grambling State, it's HBCU, punching a ticket into March Madness. They still dancing, baby. Dancing, baby. This is what March Madness is all about. This is what March is all about.
The future.
Yes.
For our listeners, one of my favorite humming, man. That March Madness by Future. One of the dope beats, man. Antoine Burnett had 18 points last night. This season he averaged 10. I just think it was just their hustle and their grit. You look at how that second half ended to force the game into overtime and then to outscore them in overtime by 16 points. I mean, what does this mean for the university itself? Because you have a new head coach in Mickey Joseph on the football side. The basketball program has punched their ticket in. They'll be taking on Purdue. We'll get into that matchup here momentarily. But what does this mean for Grambling?
It's a big deal. It's a big deal. And exposure matters, especially when we're talking about college sports. Grambling punching their ticket to March Madness and NCAA tournament is a big, huge deal. They're going to be playing underneath the lights, getting that exposure. And so all it does is going to showcase the program, and they're going to keep on going in the right direction, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then football is around the corner. See, when you're talking about a school, it's about the program. It's not just about, football. It's not just about basketball. It's about the program. And every time a program keeps doing great things and reaching certain levels, it's a huge deal.
It is. And Howard, they were talking about that, one of the point guards, Seth, he just mentioned just us being here is huge for historical black colleges.
Huge.
Over the, you think of the early Eddie Robinson days at Grambling when he had to be the cook, the team medical doctor. He had to cut the grass. He did everything for Grambling to get that program there. If y'all just tuning into Inside the Trenches podcast, we are talking about Grambling getting into the tournament, being victorious against Montana State, the Bobcats, beating them 88-81. Now they move on to take on Purdue. The ESPN predict to have them with a 1% chance of winning. Obviously, because Purdue is
the number one seed.
They only lost 4 games this past season. So,
Shout out to the Big Ten.
Big ups for the Big Ten, man. Just, out here representing and making noise. They made noise in football this year. Michigan won it all. Your team,
shout out to the Big Ten.
Yeah, they're doing their thing. Let's give a nice shout out to the Southwestern Athletic Conference. Grambling did finish number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Elkhorn was
you
2.
Say the swag.
Southern.
The swag.
You saw I said I wanted to go to the technical.
You just say the swag.
The Swizzy, baby.
The Swizzy.
Southern finished 3. Texas State. Texas Southern 12. They were 12-6 this season.
Mm-hmm.
Bethune-Cookman, Jackson got in a little action. So it's these guys play competitive ball in the SWAC all the time. Football game, Bayou Classic. We always look forward to that matchup because we know that those two teams are going to compete and make noise. They had the HBCU Legacy Bowl a few weeks ago in New Orleans, and a lot of HBCU players had the opportunity to showcase their talent
and abilities
in front of some NFL scouts. So we want to continue to give those guys big ups. So
big ups and exposure and recognition.
Mm-hmm. That game's going to be on TBS. It's going to be on the 22nd. That's tomorrow, 6:25. Let's support Grambling, man. Let's just check them out. Watch the game. You never know. Miracles sometimes happen in NCAA basketball.
Listen, a 16 seed has lost in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
It's happened. It's not like it's an anomaly. It's occurred. If Grambling can take this momentum into the tournament, sometimes you catch a team sleeping. You could catch a Purdue sleeping. I think it's worth watching. I think it's worth paying attention to. And out of the 4 seeds, that into this tournament, Purdue is not your strongest forecasted number 1 seed. Obviously, you got Houston.
Yeah.
Right? You're going to have UConn. Right? those are probably your stronger number 1 seeds.
Mm-hmm.
Purdue might be on upset alert.
Man, it's gonna be huge. And then look, speaking of the tournaments, this Monday between 6 and 8 p.m. we're gonna be at Uptown Sports Social.
Yeah.
So y'all make sure y'all come join us there, check out the games. And by the way, Uptown Sports Social, they definitely sponsoring this segment. It's brought to you guys by Uptown Sports Social, UPT baby, on Magazine Street. It's 3218 Magazine Street. Y'all check us out. We're gonna be there this Monday. That boy Fred, I don't know if he might be on the North Shore, but he might be able to make his way in there on Monday, 6 to 8 p.m. So y'all be sure.
You never know.
To go there. You never know. So Fred, let's take a look at the tournament. I'm on the men's side of things. I was fooling around with my brackets this morning. I got a text from Gus. Gus from the Sports Hangover. It's like, Fave, man, check the ESPN brackets out. So I filled it out.
Gotcha.
First, me and you will go see who we got, see if we're on the same page with this. Okay, so I have in this UConn Stetson State game, I have UConn winning. Number 1 UConn on that side.
Yeah.
FAU, so you said yesterday, I'm FAU. Northwestern, I got FAU. Okay. San Diego State, UAB. San Diego State. Okay, go ahead. You want to say something about that?
Well, I think San Diego State is going to win, but it's a toss-up. UAB can, go in there, and there's going to be an upset somewhere. This tournament this year, particularly this particular college tournament year, there's no dominant brand recognizable players. So there's going to be a lot of great basketball being played. So a team like UAB can beat. San Diego.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
They can beat one of those.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And even if you look at continuing this bracket, when you start looking at the 2 seed, which is Iowa State at North Dakota State, I mean, look for some upsets in this tournament. We're going to start watching some basketball, and because of some of these big, Big 12 schools and some of these ACC schools and some of these Big 10 schools that, because they don't have brand recognizable players, some of these smaller schools are going to come in here and trust me, they're going to give them a handful.
And keep in mind, while y'all are listening to us, some of these games are already being played.
Already starting.
Some of them already happened. So we're just kind of going through some of the major matchups that we'll be checking out as this tournament continues. Let's take a look at 2 more games before we take our break. Kentucky, Oakland. Whew. Because now Oakland's coming in 14.
I'm going to pick Kentucky.
Okay.
I'm going to pick Kentucky.
All right, let's go one more before we go to break.
I'm going to take Kentucky.
All right. This is an interesting one. Texas, Colorado State.
Whew.
And that one is actually going on right now.
Colorado State.
Okay. I'm going to go with Texas. I went with Colorado Texas State. On that one.
Colorado State.
All right.
I just think that this tournament is going to – if you're a fan of basketball, you're going to like this tournament because, again, there's going to be a lot of great basketball being played. A lot of great basketball. But, again, it doesn't have the brand recognizable names. We don't have that who's just going to be the top pick. Maybe that you're looking for. Each and every March, man, you have a top pick that you're looking for, maybe a top 2 or 3 player. You don't really have that, but it's going to make for some great basketball, though.
I like it. I look forward to it. And remember, y'all, we're going to be at UPT Sports Social every Monday, 6 to 8 p.m. Talking basketball right now. We got March Madness. It's
all over.
Great time.
It's going to be madness.
3218 Magazine Street. Y'all make sure y'all make y'all way there. One of the top sports bars in the city of New Orleans, in the heart of the city. Y'all don't go anywhere because when we come back, Pro Football Focus we talk about on this show a lot, how over time free agency is going to reshape the draft. So it's kind of like the March Madness brackets. Everything kind of moves up, knees go around and everything. So we're going to talk about that here. Y'all don't go anywhere. It's Inside the Trenches podcast, baby, right here on ESPN New Orleans. Hello, somebody.
It was hard to make moves. Hustle from 5:30 morning to late noon. Business by day and night.
Are you a student athlete looking to take your career to the next level? Look no further than Conquer Sports Pros. That's right, Conquer Sports Pros. Our team of experts will get you guys on the right path to your student athlete journey in life. That's right, we have every position in football you need, and we also help out with other sports.
At Conquer Sports Pros, you have everything from a list of consultation, training, and also media training. Yeah, that's right. When you take your career to the next level, play college and hopefully pro, you'll get lots of interviews. Call Conquer Sports Pros today. You can reach them at 504-319-6672 or visit marlonfavorite.com for more information. Hello, somebody. Are you looking for your dream home? Well, if that's the case, you need to contact Joe Piccolo at Godwin Realty, right here in New Orleans. Joe can put you in your dream home right away. Joe Piccolo and the folks over at Godwin Realty put you in the house that you need. Even if you're looking to invest in some property, they'll do an excellent job with that as well. Contact Joe today at 504-251-8341. Again, that phone number is 504-251-8341. And also contact Joel at joel.godwinrealty.com. No need to dream anymore. Godwin Realty will put you in the dream house of your reality. Hello, somebody.
It's Dat Boy Fred, host of FanView Podcast. Tune into the NOTN app weekdays, 3:30 for the FanView Podcast. Go to NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com to watch more episodes of FanView Podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch.
Listen up. Your customers, our listeners, could be hearing about your business right now. Yeah, right now. Don't miss out on the opportunity to advertise with NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Call our business department today at 504-475-4793 to hear about our great rates. NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. We provide the people, you provide the business.
Hello, somebody. It's Marlon Big Favorite with Inside the Trenches Podcast. Do you need a quick car wash? Well, if that's a yes, you need to visit Crown Car Wash, 1336 Stump Boulevard, Grantham, Louisiana, on the West Bank, baby. Crown's the best. You get a spotless wash, nice clean tires, reasonable pricing, and free vacuuming. My favorite part about Crown Car Wash, they open 24/7. That's right, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can visit Crown Car Wash on the West Bank, baby, and let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches Podcast with Marlon Big Favorite. Watch out there now.
Welcome back. It's Inside the Trenches Podcast. I'm your host, Marlon Big Favorite. Joining me right now is FanView's very own Dat Boy Fred in the building representing women. And Fred gonna be here with us every Thursday, giving his 2 cents on all the stuff going on in the world of sports.
I got 3 cents, man.
3 cents?
I got 3 cents.
3 cents.
That's when you know you elevate. You know, you elevate. My man G Sports always I say, gotta elevate.
You gotta elevate, baby. Yeah, I got
3 cents.
And I know you have 3 cents on this next subject that's brought to us by Montero Motors. 1512 North Causeway Boulevard. It's my homie Alberto over there. He done hooked Mom Dukes up, a couple of my friends. They all riding around in some nice vehicles, Fred. I know you do this 6 days a week, sell cars.
Yeah, I
and,
do.
Nothing wrong with a good used lot, right?
Ain't nothing wrong with a good used lot.
Definitely.
Nothing wrong with it.
So y'all check my
Not
man
at all.
Alberto out over there in Metairie, 1512 North Causeway Boulevard. I love following Pro Football Focus, especially when they do their number breakdowns, because they really get into like percentages and stuff like that.
Yes.
And I grew to appreciate that because we just run it as analysts, so it's always good to look at the cold hard facts. Oh, well, on this particular write-up, it was written by Trevor Skinkinum, and he talked about basically how the first wave of free agency has impacted the 2024 NFL draft.
Absolutely.
It did, Fred.
Absolutely.
Off the top of your head, before we really get into this article, what's one of the, I guess, blockbuster moves that was made that you thought, oh man, that's going to reshape their whole draft selections?
Well, I thought the Kirk Cousins signing to Atlanta was a blockbuster move that reshaped the draft, because obviously Atlanta has a top pick, and a lot of people forecasted that they will be picking a quarterback. But the addition of Kirk Cousins now going to the Falcons has kind of reshaped some things.
It did. He did mention that. He says Atlanta's out of the market for a quarterback now because they do have Kirk Cousins. Kurt's a guy who's been in the NFL since 2012. We were teammates in Washington when he first came in, and he's solid. Kurt's one of those guys. give him the Jameis Winston nod because Jameis is just cool off the field too.
Correct.
Kurt's cool off the field, so I can imagine now you have a young running back in Bijan Robinson who can learn a lot from Kurt. I mean, Kurt had Dalvin Cook in his backfield. I want to say he did have a little time with Madison as well.
Yeah.
So he's been around, some solid backs that can continue to help this rookie develop. And then now the receiving core.
Yes. You start thinking about let's think about Kyle Pitts, right?
Uh-huh.
He's had, Kirk Cousins had TJ Hawkinson, who's regarded as one of the best tight ends in football, right?
Yep.
He's thrown the ball to Justin Jefferson for the past since his duration in Minnesota. So imagine the having a Kirk Cousins if you're Drake London.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you got to be smiling from ear to ear for having a Kirk Cousins. So him coming here reshaped, a lot of things about that draft. And this goes unnoticed too, but Tyron Smith signing with the Jets, because a lot of people have penciled the Jets taking tackle on predominantly
Joe
Alt.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying they won't, but having a Tyron Smith for a year may have also altered some things too.
It did. Those two does make a lot of sense because Tyrod's similar to Kurt. He's been in the league a while.
Right.
He's had some injuries, some bumps and bruises, but
right.
he's played in more games than he sat out, so that's always a positive. And you need a crafty veteran at that position. I mean, Aaron
Rod, yeah.
Yeah, he's up there, so he need a guy that understands it. That's what I thought even with Tom Brady. He had a balanced line that, they ran a Super Bowl, but remember, they drafted Tristan Reeves in that draft.
Out of Georgia.
And he handled business. So
Correct.
something that Tom saw on film that he liked. I also look at Atlanta's, to your point, Atlanta's back receiving core. Drake London, you mentioned. You have Darnell Moody from Tulane. But he's spent his entire career till now in Chicago. What was that? Rondell Moore coming from Arizona.
Correct.
That's big. And then, of course, having a tight end.
And Kyle Pitts.
You can't, for them, you really can't go wrong. We'll look into some other areas that Trevor talked about here for Pro Football Focus. And it talked about now the Vikings potentially trading up now. With the exit of Kirk Cousins, now they're in the market for a quarterback.
Yes.
The Vikings.
Well, I was having a discussion with people who are in the sports world, football world, and that need now, obviously, we got to forecast that, quarterback is going at 1, quarterback going at 2, and people are predicting the Patriots to take quarterback at 3. So that leaves the Cardinals at 4.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Jefferson has not signed his extension.
Yeah.
So, and he has no solid quarterback. And obviously they signed Sam Darnold, but hey, if the Vikings think that quarterback is something they need to fill, maybe, because I understand the Cardinals have their quarterback. They have Kyler Murray. So do the Vikings use Justin Jefferson and forecast a trade potentially?
I like that.
And move up to 4 and take who they think will be their guy long term. Because you got to understand, they got the receiving last year. Jordan Addison, out of USC last year, and he paid dividends, even with Justin Jefferson, being out. So if the Vikings think they may want to go to 4, then maybe they could use the Justin Jefferson, move up to 4, and guess what? Get their guy.
I think for the Vikings,
I wouldn't do it though.
You think they can? Because they could possibly just stay put where they at because of the amount of talent on this board, or do you need to go try to trade up for Jaden Daniels, Drake May, one of those guys? Because you still have, because they're gonna have to go day one starter.
Yes.
They're going to have to go day one starter because they are struggling in their quarterback room. They got Nick Mullins. They have, like you say, Sam Darnold is the starter.
Right. So I think that, again, by Justin Jefferson not signing his extension, and there were reports that he turned down an offer. So if you're the Vikings and you need that quarterback, this is going to be a quarterback draft where a lot of guys are predicted to go high. We know the first 3 picks are going to probably be quarterback selection potentially. Getting up to 4 with the Cardinals might be a good idea to make the move and move up. and get your guy. But the question is, what do you have available in resources to do it? And that's the question mark.
And that's a good question. He also mentioned, and everybody's just going ahead and just handing this to this kid on a silver platter. Caleb Williams, you are the quarterback for the Chicago Bears. With Russell, Desmond Ridder, Kenny Pickett, all of these, Justin Fields now over there. It's like, all right, we're going to go get our day one quarterback. It's going to be Caleb. I still have reservations about that. We had Ryan Perrilloux on yesterday as well.
Yes.
He feel the same way. He's like, dude, they might go after Jaden Daniels. So I don't want to, I would mention at least two guys. And the third guy, a non-quarterback, in Marvin Harrison Jr., because, again, the flip situation, they got pick 9. They're going to have a talented quarterback there at 9. Or if the quarterbacks, let's say, for instance, start falling off the board 2, 3, 4, 5, you can then try your hardest. Oh, we get to 5. Now trade up to that 6th spot. You got so much value. So, I mean, what's your thoughts on that? Do you feel like Caleb Williams is just going to be the guy?
I think it's hard to trade the pick because, again, the Bears had the pick last year. And when you trade the pick, and obviously you just traded Fields, so quarterback is going to be the selection at 1. You got to take who you think is your guy. I will say this, and this is my position. I think when Cliff Kingsbury took the OC job and went to Washington and decided not to go to the Raiders, that was a telltale sign for me as a fan. I think that Caleb Williams ultimately does not want to go to Chicago.
Me too.
So if I'm the Bears with the first overall pick, I'm taking the player who really wants to be in Chicago more than the more athletic, generational, whatever label you have when it comes to Caleb Williams.
100%.
My pick would be Jaden Daniels. I think that he wants to be there. He would rather be there, and you allow him to go to DC and play for the Commanders because, again, Caleb is from DC. That's where he's from. And so allow him to go there. You still take your guy, the current Heisman Trophy winner, in Jaden Daniels, and he has 2 weapons on the outside to throw the ball to now, like Keenan Allen, and you have DJ Moore, and you go ahead and put some more pieces at 9 in the rest of the draft around Jaden. Then you got to understand, Jaden Daniels is used to now for 2 seasons throwing to 2 big-name receivers.
Yeah.
So it does fit.
And Brian Thomas, all Malik Neighbors is going to be there at 9. One of them may be more Brian Thomas.
Yeah.
And now you have a Cincinnati Bengal type situation where you have guys that are used to playing with each other, with other good receivers, Tyler Boyd, a good running back, Joe Mixon.
Yeah.
You can now do that, DeAndre Swift. You have an opportunity now to bring in a guy that would love to be the number 1 overall pick in Jaden Daniels, and then
it fits more Jaden Daniels than Caleb Williams. The situation. It just does.
It does, and you will have an explosive player. Look, if y'all want to ride fly, for the low, holler at my man Alberto over at Montero Motors, 1512 North Causeway Boulevard. It's Inside the Trenches podcast. We'll be back on ESPN New Orleans. Let's talk a little Saints. For the radio. Well, hello. It's Marlon Big Favorite with Inside the Trenches podcast. Are you looking for a brand new car? Or you're tired of what you're driving around in? Or you just need wheels? Well, if that's the case, you need to visit Montero Motors, 1512 North Causeway, Metairie, Louisiana. At Montero Motors, our buddy Alberto will get you in a vehicle that fits you that day with no problem. They have vehicles that are pre-owned. You can do a trade-in that day and ride off in something that day. Visit MonteroMotors.com for more information and let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches podcast. Hello. Hello, somebody. It's Marlon Big Favorite with Inside the Trenches podcast. Do you need a quick car wash? Well, if that's a yes, you need to visit Crown Car Wash, 1336 Stump Boulevard, Grantham, Louisiana, on the West Bank, baby. Crown's the best. You get a spotless wash, nice clean tires, reasonable pricing, and free vacuuming. My favorite part about Crown Car Wash, they open 24/7. That's right, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can visit Crown Car Wash on the West Bank, baby, and let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches podcast with Marlon Big Favorite. Watch out there now.
It's Dat Boy Fred, host of FanView podcast. tune into the NOTN app weekdays, 3:30 for the FanView podcast. Go to NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com to watch more episodes of FanView podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch.
Listen up. Your customers, our listeners, could be hearing about your business right now. Yeah, right now. Don't miss out on the opportunity to advertise with NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Call our business department today at 504-475-4793 to hear about our great rates. NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. We provide the people, you provide the business.
Now New Orleans has a choice. Download the New Orleans Talk Network app for your mobile device or listen at www.NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com.
Yeah, we're back, babies. Inside the Trenches podcast. We having ourselves a grand time over here, talking sports. We loving it. Co-host with me, that boy Fred. He representing for FanView, and
What it is.
we trying to stay clean today. Exterior car, right? I mean, I know Fred fresh with the Pelicans gear on. I just got like I do a workout a little bit after this, so I'm just kind of comfortable right now, should I say. But my vehicle definitely needs a little bit of washing, Fred. So what I'm going to do is when I leave here, I'm going to shoot on over to Grantham, Crown Car Wash, 1336, Stump Boulevard in Grantham, Louisiana. Get over there to Crown. It's open 24/7, so if I have to go out of class, I can. But you guys can make your way on over there, get that interior clean, outside of your car nice for this sunny, for the sunny day to come ahead. When you look at Saints' dominant defensive players over the years,
Yeah.
you're forced to think Ricky Jackson.
Ricky Jackson.
You think of players like Jonathan Vilma.
Yeah.
You just think of defenders, even at the cornerback position. Delvin Breaux, I thought, had a really dominant run.
Yeah.
Well, amongst those guys that I'm mentioning, you have to mention Cam Jordan.
Yes.
You have to. You look at a guy in Cam Jordan who has a solid career. Over Cam's time, he's averaged at least 10 to 11 sacks a year. And I'm bringing up Cam because we did just bring in Chase Young. And then a lot of folks and a lot of sources are saying that Chase Young is going to be the starter. Not a lot, just a few.
Yeah.
Are saying that
Just a
Chase
few.
Young, just a handful of them, saying that Chase Young is going to be the starter. And it wouldn't be over Cam.
Then there's one other side that's called Grantham, who they just gave an extension to during the season.
That's true. They gave him an extension during the season.
Yeah, they did.
Do you see this before we get into Cam with this situation? I had mentioned it earlier in segment one. Do you see this as a situation where Cam's the starter, Carl Grantham is the starter, and Chase rotates in? Or does $13 million say Chase is the starter and Cam is the starter?
I think Chase Young rotates in.
Okay.
Let's recall back to under, Greg Williams with Bobby McCray. Rotates in.
That's right.
Let's go back a little further under Jim Haslett, where we had Darren Howard and Joe Johnson. And I think at the time we had drafted Charles Grant.
Charles Grant.
And so
First round.
He starts to rotate in. He's going to rotate in. I don't think he's going to be penciled in as your day one starter, but he will get enough reps that it appears that way on defense. But Carl Grantham and Cam Jordan are going to be your starters.
And I think if you look at the situation, the scenario I see is like you said, Carl Granderson and Cam being your starters, because those are your guys that's been in the locker room. Now, here's the situation. When rotation happens, you don't take a drop at that position.
Correct.
And I think that's important as well, because Chase Young didn't start right away for San Francisco.
He didn't.
He only started in a few packages, if I'm not mistaken.
He started off in a few packages, and as the time went on, he got better and he started getting more reps. And obviously in the Super Bowl is where he had his biggest game.
We're talking Cam Jordan's career at the Saints. Last year wasn't Cam's best year, but I didn't want us to forget. My man Roy Jones said, y'all must have forgot.
Yeah.
I didn't forget, because of being a former defensive tackle, this is something that I do a lot. I like to watch some of the best players, and Cam has been consistent.
Yeah.
Just to go through the numbers, I like to start with sacks, because sacks is what keep you paid in the league.
At that position, yeah.
It does, especially at end.
At end, yes.
It does. You can be a defensive tackle and average.
Tackles for loss will matter more.
It does matter for both positions, but as I was saying, you could be a defensive tackle, but get 5 sacks, 4 sacks on the year. You know, they're not looking for, man, this year you only had 4 or 5 sacks. They wouldn't tell that to a D tackle. They'll tell that to a DN first. And what Cam has consistently did over the years, Fred, was get sacks for the Saints. I'm going to point out 3 seasons where he really acted fool. 2021, he had 12 and a half sacks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go to another year he had 12 and a half sacks. 2013, remember when him and Junior Gillette was coming off the edge?
Correct.
See, that's what, to me, that was one of Cam's best individual years. But if you look at it from the perspective of when him and Junior Gillette, who was like Junior and Cam was like, meet you at the quarterback. Junior had like 12 to 13 sacks. He called himself the sack man.
Yep.
In those years at 2013, Fred. And then Cam's best year was in 2019.
Yeah.
That 2019 season for him, he had 15 and a half sacks. Michael Thomas was the MVP on offense. Cam had a total in his career, now here with the Saints, he had a total of 117 and a half sacks in with his 13-year career.
Right.
With the Saints. When you look at other ways he impacted the game, the combination tackles, he's averaging right at about 49, 50 combination tackles a year, even last year. Now, last year statistically wasn't Cam's best year.
Correct. Last year starts to show that, hey, listen, football and being dominant can't be forever. Obviously, everyone has a duration and tenure, and last year only having, 2 sacks. Last year, you're talking about a total like 43 tackles. That's combined. So it wasn't his best statistical year. So obviously, and at one point in time, Cam Jordan really played every down. Like he played every defensive snap for the Saints. There was a plethora of seasons where he was really the guy that was playing every snap, every defensive snap for the Saints. And so by bringing Chase Young in, it allows that rotation to happen and say, listen, he's an older player now.
Mm-hmm.
He probably can't take every rep on the D-line anymore. And so I think when you look at, Cam Jordan's career, he's a undoubtedly Ring of Honor player, but there should be some conversation for Pro Hall of Fame. Not saying that he should be in, but there should be some conversation.
I couldn't agree with you more, Fred. I think he's a guy who's a gold jacket, maybe ballot 1, ballot 2 defensive end because of the sack numbers.
Yeah.
It does go there, but it's other ways that Cam affect the game a lot. He does an excellent job at taking on the double teams.
Right.
Even when they bump him, let's say, for instance, a team comes out with a tight end, a tackle, and Cam's at the 5 technique, he about to eat that up, right? Exactly. I've even seen them bump him inside. Sometimes they bump them inside.
Right.
When they move him inside, he's able to take on a guard and a tackle.
Correct.
So you have a guy who's clutch in that situation. But to me, it is the things that you don't see on the stats.
Correct.
It's the playing with good technique, being or having presence in your gap. Mm-hmm. That makes a running back bounce the other way. Cam, the combination tackles. A lot of these sacks are combination sacks. I mean,
Right.
if it's a half a sack and you get another half a sack, they only gonna count that as one sack. So I think you have leadership in the locker room. You have a guy who's still hungry.
Right.
We're gonna stick around the D lineman. We're gonna talk a little Aaron Donald next. But Aaron Donald said this. In his interview, he felt fulfilled. Cam still wants to win. He still wants to do well. So I do think, as far as gas in the tank, and Fred, you could give me your opinion on this. As far as gas in the tank for Cam could probably play another solid 3 years.
Cam wants to play in a Super Bowl.
Period.
The Saints played in the Super Bowl before they drafted Cam Jordan. It feels like this has been a lifetime ago. But Cam Jordan has played in credit to the Saints organization by keeping the guy within the one organization his entire duration of his career.
It's big.
That's something that's not really seen. But Cam Jordan wants to see this team in a postseason run. He wants to see this team in a Super Bowl appearance. He's played in a couple of NFC championships, but didn't get to the game. I think he still wants that on his resume as a player. So, I want to see him. I want to keep him on the team, and I want to see him continue to do this. But I want him to also bounce back from a career low season.
A guy who's had a Hall of Fame career here with the Saints.
Yeah.
I do see him possibly retiring as a Saint. You bring in a guy like Chase Young, who eventually, if everything works out this season well for him with the Saints, you sign him to an extension. You keep a dominant defensive in here, because
see if you can make it home.
Every good team needs a good edge rusher. We've seen this New York Giant team over time make it into the big show, having guys like Justin Tuck, having guys like Michael Strahan, dominant defensive linemen that can make things happen here. So, I want to give Cam this segment. I want to give him his props, because
yes, he's earned it.
He's earned it. He's earned it over the years for the consistency. Now, with that being said, it still may be an opportunity where we look at this with a serious eye and figure out if we still need to look in that direction if Cam has an encore of last season. If he has another year with 2 sacks, then y'all see Fred's face over here. For the folks listening to us, Fred made a face like, whoa, Nelly.
Whoa, Nelly.
And here's what we say that as we wrap this segment. And remember, this segment is brought to you guys by Crown Car Wash, 1336 Barataria Boulevard. I said Barataria. That's Smalls. That's the food.
That's Small Slots.
That's that stomach over here growling.
Yeah.
But you just get back on the expressway and get off of Stump Boulevard, 1336 Stump, and go to Crown Car Wash. You can't miss it. It's the purple building. It's lit up late at night if you need to get your wash at night. You can do that. It's in Grantham, so it's safe.
Listen, you get some food on Beltaria.
Yeah.
Then you come off of there. You go back on the expressway and you get your car clean.
Yeah, that's right.
That's how you do it.
That's how you do it, baby. So we want to thank them. But we're going to wrap this segment. We're going to stick to D-line. We're going to talk about now Aaron Donald's career. He's now retired. We have to talk about the impact he's made. It's Inside the Trenches podcast. Don't go anywhere. You're watching us streaming live right here on New Orleans Talk Network, listening on ESPN New Orleans. Watch out there now.
Hello, somebody. It's Marlon Big Favorite with Inside the Trenches podcast. Do you need a quick car wash? Well, if that's a yes, you need to visit Crown Car Wash, 1336 Stump Boulevard, Grantham, Louisiana, on the West Bank, baby. Crown's the best. You get a spotless wash, nice clean tires, reasonable pricing, and free vacuuming. My favorite part about Crown Car Wash, they open 24/7. That's right, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can visit Crown Car Wash on the West Bank, baby, and let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches podcast with Marlon Big Favorite. Watch out there now. Are you a student athlete looking to take your career to the next level? Look no further than Conquer Sports Pros. That's right, Conquer Sports Pros. Our team of experts will get you guys on the right path to your student athlete journey in life. That's right, we have every position in football you need, and we also help out with other sports. At Conquer Sports Pros, you have everything from a list of consultation, training, and also media training. Yeah, that's right, when you take your career to the next level, play college and hopefully pro, you'll get lots of interviews. Call Conquer Sports Pros today. You can reach them at 504-319-6672 or visit marlonfavorite.com for more information. Hello, somebody. Well, hello, it's Marlon Big Favorite with Inside the Trenches podcast. Are you looking for a brand new car? Are you tired of what you're driving around in? Or you just need wheels? Well, if that's the case, you need to visit Montero Motors, 1512 North Causeway, Metairie, Louisiana. At Montero Motors, our buddy Alberto will get you in a vehicle that fits you that day with no problem. They have vehicles that are pre-owned. You could do a trade-in that day and ride off in something that day. Visit MonteroMotors.com for more information and let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches podcast. Hello.
Now New Orleans has a choice. Download the New Orleans Talk Network app for your mobile device or listen at www.neworleanstalknetwork.com.
Private school at the time, they wanted us with fades. Then the dog went to West Jeff, Marsh Wolf steps.
Welcome back. Another hour Inside the Trenches podcast. Time's fly when you're having a good time.
So does it?
And I hope y'all traveling and jamming right now. Y'all listening to that Hello Somebody. I like to keep y'all rolling, man. Y'all getting off of work, long day work. Y'all deserve it. And you know what else y'all deserve? A nice bite to eat. And I know somewhere it's going to be open during the week till 10 p.m. On the weekends, 11 p.m. Small sliders. Y'all slide on through. Get you something to eat. Nice sandwich or burger, should I say.
Burgers.
And burgers. Delicious burgers on Batteria, baby, in Montero, Louisiana, 1636. I at least try 1635. I guess it's 6 rolled off, right? 1635 Barataria Boulevard, the small sliders. Man, Fred, Aaron Donald has had one heck of a career, bro. He's had one heck of a career. You're talking about, we just talked last segment about Cam Jordan's effect here and his impact here with the Saints. But when you look at Aaron Donald and what he's done for the city of Los Angeles as a defensive tackle.
For the league.
Crazy. And listen, what we said, Cam had what?
Cam had what?
117.
117.
And then Aaron as an interior lineman, 111. So for the record, Cam's clearly going right into the football NFL's Hall of Fame. And I think Cam is making an argument like Aaron has made it clear, not even an argument, it's just a conversation with him.
But Aaron's played 3 less years.
He's played 3 less years and did that. That's a good point. So if he would have, he probably would have been, let's see, he's averaging 10 sacks. So let's just go with the average, 10 sacks a year. So he would, he would have 141 career sacks as a defensive tackle in our league.
Right.
That is crazy.
It's crazy.
It's Inside the Trenches podcast. I'm your host, Marlon Big Favorite. I'm here with my co-host, Fred from FanView. Y'all can check Fred out here every Thursday. Too bad he can't come here on our Small Sliders Fridays because right now we'll have that Small Sliders here rolling.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, indeed. Aaron Donald over his career has averaged, because of this 2018 season he's averaged right at about 12 sacks a year for an interior lineman. That is insane. In the way he approaches the game, Fred, like for my players with Conquer Sports, all I do is show Aaron Donald film because he's really the clinic tape for defensive linemen.
Aaron Donald is a freak of nature. Aaron Donald in the clinic that he's put on a decade of playing in the NFL, I really don't think you can match his dominance in terms of defensive tackles.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it can be matched. I think we really watched a guy who's arguably one of the best defensive tackles to ever play football. He has a Super Bowl ring. He's played in 2 Super Bowls. He's defensive. He's won Defensive Player of the Year multiple times. I mean, what else did he needed to do in terms of being a defensive tackle for the position? I think to me, he has that Calvin Johnson like type career before D tackle. Now Calvin Johnson is regarded one of your better receivers, of all time. Not the best, but one of your best receivers of all time. That's what Aaron is. The difference is he also has the other accolades, the Super Bowl ring, the Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, it's crazy.
The one guy, the one singular guy that wasn't able to win his Super Bowl in his second year there in Joe Burrow was because of Aaron Donald. One play, Jamar Chase wide open up the sideline. Earlier, when you retire, when you're a guy like Aaron Donald that retires at such a high level, and he could have continued to play probably another 5 to 10 more years just at that level. And I'm saying 10 more years, I mean, I would say 5. I would say about 50. He would probably could get a 15-year career. But you think about what his speech is going to be after making an announcement like that. And we did have an opportunity. He did sit down with ESPN, NFL, and we'll cue it up. And he was asked his reason for retiring. Fred, when you think about a career like Aaron Donald's for interior linemen and the way he approached the game from a technical standpoint, who are some other guys you think of? Over the years you've watched this beautiful game of football, American football, the NFL. What are some names that jump up?
Obviously Warren Sapp name just jumps out. Warren Sapp's one of the best defensive tackles that played the game. John Randall from Minnesota. John Randall sticks out like a sore thumb in terms of defensive tackles and his dominance and what he was able to do at the position. Prior to him being actually a free agent and bouncing around, Albert Haynesworth had a heck of a start.
Yeah.
Albert Haynesworth had a heck of a start to his career in Tennessee, but obviously he's one of your former teammates.
Right.
But when he got the Washington at the time, the Redskins contract, it just went south. After that, man, Aaron Donald has just been a man amongst boys. He's reigned the defensive tackle position since the time he's got into the NFL. I don't recall this guy ever having a bad season.
He's never had a bad season.
He's been a Pro Bowl his whole career.
His worst career was in 2022 where he had 5 sacks, but he still they down that 5 sacks for. We just said that the last segment.
It's crazy.
If they get have a 5-sack game, they're up against it, man. So I think we have it queued up. Let's check out what Aaron Donald said for his "I made my announcement, retire" speech.
10 Pro Bowls, 8 All-Pros, 3 Defensive Player of the Years.
And Rookie Defensive Player of the Year.
Rookie of the Year. 2 NFC Championships, 3 NFC West Championships. Went to 2 Super Bowls, won 1, lost 1. I'm complete. I'm full. I think the passion to play the game is no longer there for me. I will always love football, but to think about going through another camp and another 17 season, I just don't got the urge to want to push myself to do that no more. I'm burned out. I'm thinking that the best way to say it, I'm full, I'm complete. I'm satisfied with what I was able to do in 10 years. And
I mean,
he's right. What else does to prove? We talking 10 Pro Bowls, 8 All-Pros, 3 Defensive Player of the Years, and he's a Super Bowl champion. He's full.
He's complete. And what he mentioned, to go through another 17-game season, what he's saying is, y'all, for me to perform at this level, I'm not a mediocre defensive tackle. I'm not going to start off looking really good in training camp and as the season progresses. No, I'm going to do all the necessary things to stay healthy.
Yep.
Stay on the field. I'm not going because he hadn't missed any games.
Correct.
In his career that I can note of. I'm going to do everything right from a nutrition standpoint. You have to have a certain fuel of energy to
Correct.
sustain these drives and to play the way he's playing. When you pull up film on Aaron Donald, you have a guy that's on multiple occasions, you have a guy that has been double teamed, triple teamed, and to win those reps. We talk about this at Conquer Sports all the time with our defensive linemen. What does it mean to be a technician in football? One thing it takes to play with good hands. You see this man training all season with knives, just constantly trying to improve his technique. And when you look at that from a preparation preseason standpoint, off-season standpoint, should I say, it deserves to be applauded, Fred.
When it comes to Aaron Donald, I think that he wanted to leave the best version of Aaron Donald on the field and what you was going to watch. I don't think the guy ever wanted to play this game, prepare himself to have a bad season. And so he's full, he's complete, and he's going to leave out in the sunset, and I can appreciate that.
I really can. So big ups to Aaron Donald. Definitely one of my favorite defensive tackles of all time. When you think Reggie White, you think Warren Sapp, Deacon Jones, guys that dominated the game over the years.
He's in there Rushmore.
And he's in that Rushmore defensive tackles in Aaron Donald's. So y'all don't go anywhere. We're going to stay right here at Inside the Trenches podcast. Remember, this segment was brought to you guys by Small Sliders, 1635 Barataria Boulevard in Montero. Y'all slide on through and enjoy a sandwich that is simple and on purpose. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back. Inside the Trenches podcast. New Orleans Talk Network, ESPN New Orleans. Hello, somebody. It's the host of Inside the Trenches podcast, Marlon Big Favorite. Did you know Small Sliders had an app? You can go to your Google Play Store or your Apple Store right now, download the Small Sliders app in Montero, and order your food right now. You want to get a number 2? Well, slide through. 1635 Barataria Boulevard in Montero. Small Sliders, simple on purpose. Are you a student athlete looking to take your career to the next level? Look no further than Conquer Sports Pros. That's right, Conquer Sports Pros. Our team of experts will get you guys on the right path to your student athlete journey in life. That's right, we have every position in football you need, and we also help out with other sports. At Conquer Sports Pros, you have everything from a list of consultation, training, and also media training. Yeah, that's right. When you take your career to the next level, play college and hopefully pro, you'll get lots of interviews. Call Conquer Sports Pros today. You can reach them at 504-319-6672 or visit marlonfavorite.com for more information. Hello, somebody. Hello, somebody. It's your boy Marlon Big Favorite. And when I'm hungry, I like to make my way to Small Sliders, 1635 Barataria Boulevard, Montero, Louisiana. Simple on purpose. When I tell you their burgers are delicious, have some great sauce on them, I'm telling you, when you're just hungry and just need to grab a quick bite, this is the perfect place for you. Small Sliders. The customer service is nice. It's somewhere you can bring the family, hang out and chill, enjoy the atmosphere. Now I'm a big boy, so when I like to take my Small Sliders, I like to get the biggest smalls. Double patties, bacon, cheese, you name it. Just a delicious burger. And I like to top it off with my favorite, the cookies and cream milkshake. There are 3 delicious flavors: milkshake, chocolate, vanilla, and cookies and cream. Small Sliders. Simple on purpose. Y'all come on and slide through, baby. And let them know that you heard about them on Inside the Trenches with your boy Marlon Big Favorite. Watch out there now. Well, hello, it's Marlon Big Favorite with Inside the Trenches podcast. Are you looking for a brand new car? Or you're tired of what you're driving around in? Or you just need wheels? Well, if that's the case, you need to visit Montero Motors, 1512 North Causeway, Metairie, Louisiana. At Montero Motors, our buddy Alberto will get you in a vehicle that fits you that day with no problem. They have vehicles that are pre-owned. You could do a trade-in that day and ride off in something that day. Visit MonteroMotors.com for more information and let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches podcast. Hello.
Step Construction is here for you with a brand new offer. We now provide affordable storage sheds. Stop wasting your money on overpriced storage units and portable containers. Step Construction can provide you with a custom shed that will fit your budget and storage needs. So contact Step Construction today at 504-340-5809 for your own personal quote. Let us help you take the next step at Step Construction.
Commentate like Madden, living life fantastic. Welcome back. It's Inside the Trenches podcast. I'm your host, Marlon Big Favorite. Man, me and Fred over here seeing if they got any updates with which is Twitter Franklin over here seeing if there are any updates in free agency. But I do want to touch bases on going around the league. And this segment is brought to you guys by Conquer Sports Pros. Conquer Sports Pros, y'all can hit us up on Instagram at Conquer Sports Pros. Hit the DM up if there's any messages. We train D-linemen, we train offensive linemen, we help with sports consultation. We do media training with our players, and we get the workouts. As a matter of fact, tonight we have a class this evening that's going to get started at 8 o'clock. I want to talk to you guys about some of the deals that's been going around the league. What are some of the good fits in the NFL? Mike Williams, as you know, Fred, is a Jet. So it looks like Aaron Rodgers have another weapon. When you first saw this, what were your initial reactions?
He gonna play 7 games. He gonna play 7 games.
7 games. So you think, okay, Jim Harbaugh gets over there. You know that's your guy. He was at Michigan.
Absolutely.
I don't think he gonna get the job done. Well, currently on the roster, he has Gary Wilson, so it's 2 targets.
Right.
I mean, what direction do they take in the draft, you think?
I think that when you get Tyron Smith, I think the biggest void was also left tackle. It was atrocious last year, unfortunately, for Zach Wilson. But getting Tyron Smith does patch that void, so you can address another need, another area.
Mm-hmm.
Receiver is still a need for the Jets. To me, adding Mike Williams still creates a void because you still have Gary Wilson. However, I don't think Mike Williams is a permanent solution because I just don't think he is going to play 17 weeks of football. I give you 7 weeks, and after that, Mike Williams will find a way to get on the sideline. That's just what he's been throughout his 7-year tenure with the Chargers. He was a heck of a prospect coming out of Clemson when he was. However, it's one of those things where when you start looking at it, Mike Williams is not going to play a full season. So I think receiver is still something that the Jets can address, and they're going to have some choices at 7. Or Brock Bowers.
Brock Bowers. Tight end. Get him a nice tight end. Well, that makes sense because you'll have at least a trio. We know Gary Wilson can get down with his route running.
He get down.
Mike Williams, when healthy, he's a reliable.
7 weeks.
Do you have to put open big quotations on that?
It's definitely quotations. It's definitely quotations.
He might.
He's a baller when he's playing, Fave, but you can't forecast 17 weeks out of Mike Williams. That's just not. Durability is a concern.
Durability matters in our league, especially when you're in a situation where Aaron Rodgers was out the entire year last year.
Yeah.
I mean, he played not even a full quarter.
4 snaps.
Yeah.
4 snaps. Got an Achilles.
he was feeling it too, Fred. And you look at it from the perspective of that division. You're going to see the Browns. You're going to see Baltimore, and I'm missing a team.
You talking about the Jets? Well, the division is with them, the Patriots, the Bills, and the Dolphins.
The Bills and the Dolphins. I was over there with Burrow and them.
You was over in the East.
Yeah.
You over there in the North.
So when you look at this division, check me out. I'm all over the place. You have Tua in Miami.
Yep.
Right. You have Josh Allen
in Buffalo.
A decent Josh Allen. And when you look at Cleveland, they got just signed Jameis Winston for backup for.
You talking about the Patriots?
The Patriots.
Patriots in the same division.
Wait, I did that again. I'm tripping because it's Cleveland, the Bengals,
The Ravens,
and
and Steelers.
and the Steelers over on the north
In the
side.
north.
On the east, I'm tripping. We got the Jets, the Patriots,
The Dolphins, and you have the Bills.
and the Bills. So with the Patriots, they still have a question at quarterback,
Question mark. And they picking third.
and they do pick third. Do they trade up and try to get Jaden or Caleb?
No.
They stay right there and get
1 and 2 is off limits.
one of the. Yeah,
They off limits. No one's touching that. No one's touching 1 and 2. 1 and 2 is off limits.
Yeah, Dan Quinn's not moving. I mean, you gonna have to get, because they don't really have nothing that they want in New England.
And you got to add the fact that they traded Sam Howell over there to the Seahawks. So they signed Marcus Mariota. They trade Sam Howell. So quarterback is the selection. So 1 and 2 are off limits.
They're off limits. Wait, the Jets pick 4th?
No, the Jets pick
5th.
The Chargers pick 5th.
The Chargers pick 5th, so the Jets have to be at 6.
The Jets are at 6, I believe.
Yeah, they have to be at 6.
It's either them or the Giants.
We're just running it right now, y'all. It's Inside the Trenches podcast. Remember, this segment is brought to you guys by Conquer Sports. We're looking at some of the free agency moves that's happened. What are some good fits? Mike Williams is over there with Aaron Rodgers. You always want to think who's going to be Aaron Rodgers' targets. So that's why we ended up bringing him up. When you look across that division.
Actually, the Jets are at 10.
They're at 10.
Yes.
Wait, who's at 6?
The 6 is the Giants. 7 is the Titans. 8 is the Falcons. 9 is the Bears again. And then 10, the Jets.
Okay, gotcha. So,
the Jets got a long way to go.
I'm trying to think this out. Which direction they take with that? Like,
I mean, 10. I'm still
10
taking
is
receiver.
like, it's almost like Money in the middle. It's like you're right in the middle of the first 20 picks,
right?
And we know this first half could be it's going to be very quarterback heavy. Let's go out and say, I'm just going. Jaden Daniels,
yes.
Caleb Williams is going to come off the board to Washington. Do you think Drake May?
Drake May is a possibility at third. He's a possibility. The Patriots don't have a quarterback.
Gerard Mayo is the new head coach. That was my teammate with the Patriots. You don't think that he might like Michael Penix Jr.?
That's a possibility. But quarterback is definitely on the clock for them because when they traded Mac Jones. They traded Mac Jones over to the Jacksonville Jaguars. So quarterback has got to figure is going to be on the board. And then after that, 4 is Arizona. So if Arizona ends up trading their selection, then whoever team with that is going to move up to is going to probably be taking another quarterback. So quarterback is going to be on the clock, which means other positions are going to fall. And if you're the Jets, if you look at Malik Neighbors, let's imagine that 1, 2, and 3 quarterbacks are selected. So you still got Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas, and Roma Uzier, who hasn't been selected in the top 3 selections. Right? One of those guys are going to be available for the Jets. Because they can't depend on Mike Williams. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So Jets is going to go quarterback. I mean, we may see a big run on wide receivers, to your point.
Yeah.
Because once you get after third, they might go try to get another wide receiver, O-lineman for Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
Jim Harbaugh said this publicly. He got his guy. They for sure not going quarterback.
They're not going
quarterback.
quarterback.
They're market for a wide receiver.
Yep.
And I think that your guy might shoot straight up there from who wide receiver that you think that they might go with?
You're gonna have Malik Neighbors. You're gonna have Brian Thomas. You're gonna have Roma Uzier.
Marvin Harrison Jr. still sitting here. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, that's a possibility. That's a possibility. That's a possibility. That's a possibility.
I think he might look.
That's
think
a possibility.
About it. He was just over there competing against him in the Big Ten.
And if he's available at 5, there's no way I don't take him. I take him.
I think that's a good fit for him because quarterback's going to dominate the first 3 picks. You mentioned that Arizona might trade back.
And not just that, but you got to think about the void that the Chargers will have at 5. They trade Keenan Allen and they release Mike Williams. So they're going into the season with, I think, Josh Palmer, and then they had the former first-round pick they got out of TCU last year in Quentin Johnston. Mm-hmm. So there's a big need and a big void if you're still going, obviously Justin Herbert's your quarterback. So at the end of the day, He gonna need some targets. And why not, if at 5, if Marvin Harrison Jr. is on the clock, take Marvin Harrison Jr.
Odell Beckham Jr., he's a free agent.
Yes.
Does he end up with the Patriots?
No.
Is it back to L.A. for him?
No. I think Odell signs after June 1st.
That makes sense because it's much cheaper.
It's much cheaper. More importantly, he can scout teams for his success and see what team has an opportunity for a postseason. If Odell Beckham is going to play this year, he wants to sign to an organization that's going to have some sort of postseason opportunity. And I think that's going to happen for Odell after June 1st, after the draft.
No, this makes perfect sense, Fred. I do think that it's best for both parties, whatever NFL team he signs with, because of the cash flow of the things. You know, you want to pay as much. And for him, he can see the entire NFL draft. He can see what happens in all these free agency moves and really find that best fit for him. He pretty much can move how free agents are supposed to move, you know, go to the best place for you. And if you guys want to move the way you have to move as a defensive lineman, an offensive lineman, any of these skilled positions, we got guys out in Baton Rouge that help us train. Holler at Conquer Sports Pros. We can get with you guys. The best way to contact us is on our Instagram at Conquer Sports Pros. Go to our Instagram and say, hey, I'm an offensive lineman, a defensive lineman that needs some work, or I'm a mother or father of an offensive lineman, a defensive lineman needs some work. We got you covered over there. Don't go anywhere. It's Inside the Trenches podcast. When we come back, Fred, had a few pro days happening here last couple of days. We're going to talk that. It's Inside the Trenches podcast. Hello, somebody, on ESPN New Orleans.
To hit all the digits, my money was mentioned. I made me a pivot from up in the trenches to up in the benches.
Are you a student athlete looking to take your career to the next level? Look no further than Conquer Sports Pros. That's right, Conquer Sports Pros. Our team of experts will get you guys on the right path to your student athlete journey in life. That's right, we have every position in football you need, and we also help out with other sports. At Conquer Sports Pros, you have everything from a list of consultation, training, and also media training. Yeah, that's right. When you take your career to the next level, play college and hopefully pro, you'll get lots of interviews. Call Conquer Sports Pros today. You can reach them at 504-319-6672 or visit marlonfavorite.com for more information. Hello, somebody. Are you looking for your dream home? Well, if that's the case, you need to contact Joe Piccolo at Godwin Realty, right here in New Orleans. Joe can put you in your dream home right away. Joe Piccolo and the folks over at Godwin Realty put you in the house that you need. Even if you're looking to invest in some property, they'll do an excellent job with that as well. Contact Joe today at 504-251-8341. Again, that phone number is 504-251-8341. And also contact Joel at joel.godwinrealty.com. No need to dream anymore. Godwin Realty will put you in the dream house of your reality. Hello, somebody.
It's Dat Boy Fred, host of FanView podcast. Tune into the NOTN app weekdays, 3:30 for the FanView podcast. Go to NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com to watch more episodes of FanView podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch.
Listen up. Your customers, our listeners, could be hearing about your business right now. Yeah, right now. Don't miss out on the opportunity to advertise with NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Call our business department today at 504-475-4793 to hear about our great rates. NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. We provide the people, you provide the business.
Hello, somebody. It's Marlon Favorite with Inside the Trenches podcast. Do you need a quick car wash? Well, if that's a yes, you need to visit Crown Car Wash, 1336 Stump Boulevard, Grantham, Louisiana, on the West Bank, baby. Crown's the best. You get a spotless wash, nice clean tires, reasonable pricing, and free vacuuming. My favorite part about Crown Car Wash, they open 24/7. That's right, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can visit Crown Car Wash on the West Bank, baby, and let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches podcast with Marlon Favorite. Watch out there now.
Just let the thing come on smooth just like that.
Hey, beautiful, just
got up even after all of this time. It's Inside the Trenches podcast, baby. We back. It's your host, Marlon Big Favorite. Wanted to come in smooth, because these some smooth guys at the pro days, right? They getting ready. They got their drip on, representing their school and doing their thing. And remember, I know somebody else who's doing their thing, too. My other co-host, Joe from Godwin Realty. He's not with us right now. He's probably out getting some houses and stuff together.
Right. Shout out to Joe.
Shout out to Joe, man. He shows mad love. So y'all looking for some property, whether it's commercial or real estate property or some land, holla at Godwin Realty. Their information is below the show, but I know they're on Soapy, right? I don't have their address right off the top of my head, but hopefully by the close of the segment, I'll get that to you guys as well. So pro days happen, right? You had Caleb Williams workout finally.
About time.
The moment everybody's been waiting for so much. The Chicago Bears even brought down Keenan Allen to watch it. He dapped him off like, yeah, man, just wanted to casually come check out your pro day. Wow, man, you gonna come be my quarterback? Yeah. Fred, that was big time. How would you feel, right, if you were a quarterback, obviously you're projected number one overall guy, and then one of the top 10 receiver, in my opinion, in the NFL comes and just check out your pro day?
Well, is it really casual? Or the Bears just making a statement that, hey, this is a guy you're going to be throwing the ball to, so let's just, y'all need to get acquainted.
Pretty much.
But yes, man, first and foremost, shout out to Caleb Williams for working out. It's not something that I think he may have to do, but he decided to do it anyway. And it's important. I like to see guys work out, for the NFL is a big deal. It's life-changing opportunity. So him working out was people got the chance to see him. Scouts got a chance to see him be up and close in person. And I think it was all a good thing for Caleb Williams. It's all smiles. It's all, fantastic. So, no, nothing against it.
He was out there punting. My man was out there punting. Just showing off.
It's the Caleb Williams show.
It's the Caleb Williams show.
Caleb Williams show.
Of course, all the scouts were there.
Yeah.
They had some scouts at Ohio State, but Marvin Harrison Jr. didn't participate in the pro day.
Now, this questions me. And the reason why I'm questioning about it is, Fave, everybody wants the film to speak for itself, right? Everybody wants the film to, express who you are as a player, and let that be known of, the kind of player you are. The issue I take concern to is that there are other guys in this draft that are rising. Marvin Harrison Jr. may be everyone's consensus number one receiver, but that's not what I watched last year in college football. Malik Neighbors made a lot of strides to suggest that he could be or should be the best receiver in this draft. And for Marvin Harrison Jr. to not work out as if he's the first overall selection, there's something about this that I didn't like as a fan watching the game, and I take something back from there. And I think that if you're a team, obviously you draft him. But if I'm deciding between him and Malik Neighbors decide to work out and puts on a show, my decision could be swayed.
I wonder if the time frame of when that pro day started mattered for his situation, because Malik's is next week, so he does have a little more time to prepare, because both guys didn't do nothing but interview at the combine.
They interviewed at the combine.
So for Marvin Harrison Jr., I do think that some teams, particularly these teams we're talking about, because let's not make any surprises with this. Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas Jr., and I would probably say Rome Azum. Uzium. I would probably say those guys would be off the board, let's say, in the first 15 picks.
Correct.
If I'm, let's say, the Los Angeles Chargers and Malik Neighbors is still sitting there, I would probably take him over Marvin Harrison Jr.
That's a possibility.
Here's what works in Marvin Harrison Jr.'s favor. His dad has a gold jacket.
Yes.
He did put it on tape.
Yes.
He has a year with C.J. Stroud. This year, he stood out big time, and he had a year with Justin Fields. So these are two proven NFL quarterbacks. Why I brought those guys up, but he shined so hard this past season to where he was up for the Heisman. So I think
Yes.
his team is looking at all that hype and let's not do nothing to hurt yourselves. And I don't think that's the right mindset to have all the time, Fred.
I don't. At some point in time, here's the thing. In the NFL, you have to compete, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why not compete during your pro days or compete at the combine? Because it's a competitive game, right?
100%.
You don't get time to say, well, you know what? I'm going to just take training camp off. That's not how this works, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not a red flag per se for me, but when you see prospects that don't work out for scouts, I think you have to have a question mark. Why not work out? Why not compete? Why not show an opportunity to showcase NFL scouts of why you're the best in the game, why you're the best receiver that should be selected? So he has it projected, the way it's being perceived at least, that he's projected at the number one consensus overall receiver. And if it don't work out that way, there's no one else to blame but Marvin Harrison Jr.
And that's truth be told, because ultimately you make the decision. Your team talks to you and they say, hey, we advise you do X, Y, Z.
Correct.
If you feel like you can help yourself, which I think you do, I think you scream to teams that I want to be in. I want y'all to know that I'm fully in.
Yeah.
And I want to be given an opportunity. Some pro days that happened today. Houston Christian, Notre Dame had their pro day today. Utah had theirs earlier today as well. Some to look forward to, March 25th through the 27th. March 22nd, you have Auburn, Florida State. Florida State has one of the top running backs in
Trey Benson.
And Trey Benson. He's someone I think that could help himself at the pro day.
Yeah.
And that same day, Kentucky goes, Michigan, your team,
Yep.
in Minnesota. Michigan, J.J. McCarthy has to help his stock because he's right in the middle of the pack of the top 10 quarterbacks in his draft.
Yeah, J.J. McCarthy has some good things, some good showings at the combine. Obviously, the pro days, he can help himself become potentially the third quarterback off the board. After,
wow,
because right now it's about who likes you, right? Who falls in love with you, right? Mm-hmm. We know 1 and 2, these two organizations are going to fall in love with them. We know who 1 and 2 is. That's not moving. That's not changing. 3 through whatever is the adjustable ones, right?
Right.
If J.J. McCarthy comes out here and he lights up Michigan's pro day, somebody might fall in love with J.J. McCarthy and decide to take him the third quarterback and be off the board. So he has an opportunity to go out here and put himself in that conversation.
He does. I think he jumps in the conversation after Michael Penix comes off the board. I think the only 2 quarterbacks I would say could potentially jump where Michael Penix will come off the board at is in Drake May and Bo Nix. I think J.J. McCarthy had a lot more support than those guys.
He does.
Blake Corum, who may be
the second best back in the draft.
Some would say, 1 or 2. I think NFL.com has him at 3. Let me double check that again.
Ooh,
but you do.
You're bad. You're bad.com.
No, bad.
Bad.com.
He's up there though. He's in amongst the mention, and you have to ask yourself when you start looking at these quarterbacks, who could come in right now and make a change for my organization if you're picking in those first 15 picks as well. Because if you look at the draft order once again,
I think there's 3.
There's 3. Who are those teams?
I would say Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, and Michael Penix. Those are my 3 that could come in day 1 to start.
You wouldn't say. Do you think that? I'm gonna go down the list here. I'm gonna go a good bit down the list. Do you think a guy like Spencer Rattler could start?
No.
Joe Milton III?
No.
Not this season coming up. Not this season, but the following season, you think?
And that's a maybe on Joe Milton.
Do you think Jordan Travis could start?
Yes.
So what I did?
Yes.
What season I'm talking about? 2025.
Yes.
Because I say because I do think when you look at these games, you look at that LSU matchup against Florida both years.
Jordan Travis can play.
He can play.
Can't start immediately because of the injury, but I think if whoever selects him, and you got to avoid that quarterback the following year, I think Jordan Travis can play.
Oh, that's good. I like to see that because to me, the most explosive quarterbacks in this draft, as we wrap here, I would say is Jaden Daniels. I would say then Caleb Williams. Then I will go Michael Penix Jr. And then it kind of falls to Bo Nix, J.J. McCarthy, because of the winning those guys put out there. But man, I look at Spencer Radley, Joe Milton, and then of course we mentioned Jordan. Hey, but y'all don't go anywhere. We'll be back Inside the Trenches podcast. Godwin Realty for your property. Y'all make sure y'all hit them up. My man Joel will be here on the show tomorrow. We will be right back to wrap this thing up. One more segment here on Inside the Trenches podcast, baby. Hello, come on. Yeah, we rolling.
Are you looking for your dream home? Well, if that's the case, you need to contact Joe Piccolo at Godwin Realty, right here in New Orleans. Joe can put you in your dream home right away. Joe Piccolo and the folks over at Godwin Realty put you in the house that you need. Even if you're looking to invest in some property, they'll do an excellent job with that as well. Contact Joe today at 504-251-8341. Again, that phone number is 504-251-8341. And also contact Joel at joel.godwinrealty.com. No need to dream anymore. Godwin Realty will put you in the dream house of your reality. Hello, somebody.
Now New Orleans has a choice. Download the New Orleans Talk Network app for your mobile device or listen at www.neworleanstalknetwork.com.
Hello, somebody. It's your boy Marlon Big Favorite. And when I'm hungry, I like to make my way to Small Sliders, 1635 Barataria Boulevard, Montero, Louisiana. Simple on purpose. When I tell you their burgers are delicious, have some great sauce on them, I'm telling you, when you're just hungry and just need to grab a quick bite, this is the perfect place for you. Small Sliders. The customer service is nice. It's somewhere you can bring the family, hang out and chill, enjoy the atmosphere. Now I'm a big boy, so when I like to take my Small Sliders, I like to get the biggest smalls. Double patties, bacon, cheese, you name it. Just a delicious burger. And I like to top it off with my favorite, the cookies and cream milkshake. There are 3 delicious flavors: milkshake, chocolate, vanilla, and cookies and cream. Small Sliders. Simple on purpose. Y'all come on and slide through, baby. And let them know that you heard about them on Inside the Trenches with your boy Marlon Big Favorite. Watch out there now.
Listen up. Your customers, our listeners, could be hearing about your business right now. Yeah, right now. Don't miss out on the opportunity to advertise with NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Call our business department today at 504-475-4793 to hear about our great rates. NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. We provide the people, you provide the business.
I mean, we're from New Orleans, baby, so it's only right for us to wrap up on the Pelicans. I mean,
The Pels.
all that energy they got. Y'all see Fred right here. If y'all watching this, Fred, if y'all listening to us, y'all can't see Fred right now. Fred he Pelican down.
Oh, yeah. Represent. Represent.
Baby.
Represent.
It's Inside the Trenches podcast. I'm your host, Marlon Big Favorite. Joining me right now is me and that boy, Fred from FanView. We're talking Pels this segment, but man, this has been an interesting show. From talking inside the trenches with Aaron Donald and Cam Jordan, and looking around the March Madness and everything that's going around. So it's cool. And it's madness over there at Small Sliders in Montero.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all can use their new brand new app. They have an app. You could go to smallsliders.com and get that brand new app and order your food. When you put your order in, by the time you pull up, they'll have it ready for you. So y'all check them out. Montero, baby, 1635 Barataria Boulevard. About 15 minutes from that address over that river in that Smoothie King Center, boy, they got a dude in Zion Williamson who's playing much better, playing at the elite level that we're used to seeing him play at. And one thing, Fred, that I'm excited about with this Pels team is that they're playing at a high level right now.
Whew.
At the right time you're supposed to peak, right?
Yes. Listen, when you're talking about the Pels, right now they're back and forth with the Clippers for the 4th and 5th seed.
They are.
They're back and forth, right? And obviously, if things keep going, I think they got 14 more games left. The Pels are 42, and the current record for the Pels right now is.
I want to say it's 40. So I'm pulling it up right now with you too.
The Pels record right now is
24.
42 and 26.
26. I know.
So right now they're 5th in the West behind the Clippers. They're going back and forth. Obviously, it looks like the way the season's going to pan out is going to be between them and the Clippers, who going to be their first round matchup. And it's a matter of who's going to just pretty much have home court. Who's going to have the opportunity to play 4 games at home, and who's going to have the opportunity to play 3. But the way Zion Williamson is playing at this moment, Zion Williamson is playing out of his mind. He looks in shape. He looks fit. He's agile. The mobility is there. And the Pelicans as a roster with Brandon Ingram, Trey Murphy, Herb Jones, C.J. McCollum, Valanciunas, Jose Alvarado, Najee Marshall. I mean, I'm just missing some guys, Larry Nance. They are looking like threats to the Western Conference. Big time threats.
To me, the Pels are the true sleeper team of the West. You give a lot of props to the Clippers. I do understand they're out there in that market. I mean, LA is basically, and it's crazy, 2 of my favorite teams. Outside the Pels, I really like the Pels, though.
Yeah.
But 2 of my favorite teams over the years have been the Lakers and the Cowboys. So, the Lakers are usually getting either way go, they like the Cowboys with the media. You got to talk about them.
You got to talk about them.
They're going to keep us, to our late great Kobe Bryant. He shined, him and Shaq shine in that era. And then now they have LeBron. And he's, of course, another mega star in basketball.
Correct.
But I do respect the praise that Zion is getting. I was watching First Take, and JJ Redick came up, and he was just talking about how much Zion has improved. Mike, when you get a second, we're going to cue up that clip. I want them to hear what JJ said if they missed it, but it spoke volumes about where he is right now as a player. Let's check it out.
For a quick take, JJ, what do you think of Zion Williamson's, wait for it, monstrous alley-oop in the Pelicans' 104-91 win over the Nets last night?
Well, I have to say that it definitely produced a sudden sense of thrilling excitement for me.
Wow.
Yesterday we talked about
You were thrilled.
the most electric player in the NBA, and I mentioned Zion.
Yeah.
The thing that's so impressive right now for him, he looks in shape. We've talked about he's lost weight. His conditioning is great. He's averaging 30 a game over his last 5. The Pelicans are coming, and we've got an iconic photo to go with this lob dunk.
Yeah.
I mean, that is insane. That's the Zion Williamson coming out of Duke that we all expected. He's here right now.
Yes, he is. Finally. This is what we've been waiting for, and because of that, New Orleans can challenge to the Western
I don't disagree. They're dangerous. They can score. They're dangerous.
I like the take, Fred.
I love it.
Especially after the season we had just now with the Saints. We needed this down here in a 504.
Yeah.
Zion is in good shape. This is the guy that they drafted. We had a conversation here on this podcast in one of our production meetings, as a matter of fact. It was Tarek was in on it, CL, Joe, and what CL was basically telling Tarek is, man, we made the right decision with Zion, right? And Tarek said, oh, no, man, we should have went got Ja Morant. But now, hindsight, 2020, that conversation, Zion looked like that guy.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think if you're talking about the first 3 seasons, Zion Williamson was just unhealthy. And obviously nutrition and diet and, weight was a concern. And Ja Morant was putting the league on notice, right?
Yeah.
Ja Morant was making himself a star in this league, right? All the things that he was doing for Memphis, Ja Morant was predicted to be the next guy up in terms of all the marketing and all the media for the NBA. until last season.
Pretty much.
Right? And obviously he was dealing with some things that, has hindered him in this season, particularly here. I mean, he was suspended coming into the year, and then obviously he has the injury that kind of, played this whole year. Now, last year, Zion Williamson has been dealing with some injuries, and he, we didn't know. There's a lot of question marks on the durability with Zion, right? This year, for the most part, Zion Williamson has been most part healthy. And now that the weight looks like it's kind of managed, we're watching a guy that we want to watch coming out of Duke. And now that that guy's, playing at a higher level, I guess he feels like Zion, right? Moment to take, but he said, I just didn't really feel like Zion.
Yeah.
I guess he feels like Zion.
He looks like Zion. He looks like a better Zion. And I think that's something that's important too, wanting to continue to climb up in your career and just get better over time. And he's definitely done that.
Yeah.
Something I think is a huge asset to a basketball team or any team, to say the least, is a player that complements the guys around him. The fact that I think that Zion's playing better, he's more of a dominant beast. It's almost like for Tennessee when Derrick Henry, well, now Baltimore's about to experience this, when he really gets that head of steam and it's just hard to tackle him and bring him down. Zion, you bring that over to the basketball court, he brings that type of energy.
Yes.
So they are scary. I agree with Stephen A. in the crew on First Take, because you have a Pelicans team that has a big dominant man that's hard to stop when he's playing at this level.
In addition to that, their 9-man rotation is going to be a tough out for every team. And it's looked like it's working in unison with Jose Alvarado. You talking about Trey Murphy come off the bench. We're talking about Najee Marshall and Larry Nance. They have a 9-man rotation that they can bring it to the playoffs and compete with any team in the Western Conference. Any team. And to me, it looks like their first matchup is going to be versus the Clippers. If they out the Clippers in, let's say, under 6 games, hello, somebody.
It's time to move our body.
Oh, it's time to move the conference.
Yeah.
Because the rest of the conference will be on notice. And at that point in time, they'll be forecasted to play the potential number 1 seed, unless one of those, bottom tier teams, take out 1, 2, or 3. 1, 2, or 3 going to pretty much be between Denver, Minnesota, and OKC. The Pelicans are just, if they get past the Clippers, everyone besides Denver, they don't match up. I don't think Minnesota matches up. I don't think OKC matches up.
Mm-hmm.
Denver matches up because of the skill level of Jokic and the skill level of the team and how they coached, right? They can find bodies to put at different people. Outside of that, the whole entire Western Conference, they're going to have a problem trying to match up against the Pelicans.
Well, we don't have a score on us right now, but right now they're taking on Orlando. It's on NBA TV. They have this stretch of road games on the East. I like the fact that they're winning on the road the way that they're doing, because it just really adds more value to the team. But when you look at the schedule at home, they're going to play against I'm going to start with the teams that matter to them: the Bucks, the Thunder. I think when you look at this Celtics team and how they look in the East, it's good to have a team like that to see how battle tested you are for a team that's going to arguably be in the Eastern Conference. When you look at the Celtics, they take on the Suns down the schedule, and then of course at the end of the regular season, taking on the Warriors and the Lakers. So I love the position that the Pels are putting themselves in.
Yeah,
trending at the right time. Zion's being in the best shape he could possibly be right at the right time. He's just in perfect form. It's Inside the Trenches podcast, man. I want to thank my co-host, Dat Boy Fred, for joining me on the podcast today.
Absolutely.
We're going to keep chopping wood. So I like that Thursday energy. It's like me and Fred taking you guys into the weekend. I hope y'all enjoying y'all evening. We have a lot to look forward to. We have our Friday show in the Small Sliders Hub. I want y'all to definitely enjoy that. We're going to keep things going in the right direction. Excited, Fred. We're heading into a week where we'll be on radio 5 days a week. 6 to 8 Monday through Friday right here on ESPN New Orleans, 100.3 FM, that dial, so y'all continue to check that out. As y'all notice this show, I've been plugging ESPN. We're just getting used to taking those reps because we're changing the language of the show. I want to thank all of our sponsors for all the love that they give to the show, Small Sliders, UPT, Uptown Social. I want to thank Crown Car Wash, Godwin Realty, Montero Motors. Thank my girl Tammy over there, Tammy Gibson Chiropractor, for getting your boy right. Conquer Sports Pros, we're getting things going at Montero Motors. Hey, and if y'all want to become a patron or a sponsor to the show, just hit my DM up, man. I get my people with you at Big Fade 504, and we're going to keep things going. If y'all don't remember anything we talked about today, remember, God is love. Got my man Mike, got Terry back there on the ones and twos getting the show to you. We'll be back. Same time, same place, ESPN New Orleans, Inside the Trenches podcast. Hello.